Hey everybody, this is Mark Marble from the LanternCast. Jim started us on a good note with the Ringcyclopedia episodes that he's put up so far, so I figured I would follow suit. And even though I didn't know which one to start with first, I figured I would start with something that it's a nice prop, even though obviously there's one glaring exception here that people will pick up on real quick, which makes it kind of flawed, and that is the Justice League Trophy Room ring prop set that came out right towards the end of Blackest Night, but unfortunately was solicited many months in advance, so there is no slot for, as you could probably tell even with the dome on, though I'm taking the dome off now so you get a better look at the rings. There is no white lantern ring. It is very unfortunate that they chose not to have a white lantern ring in this set. The rings themselves fit nicely into the prop. They fit very tightly. It's almost like a rubber gasket kind of effect. These rings are pretty much almost identical in design to the rings that were with the busts. These busts of Sinestro, Kyle, Hal, Alan Scott. They're not really designed to be worn. You could wear them, but I think you wear the finish off pretty much. The oil in your skin pretty much would affect the rings if you wore them on a regular basis. But they did a pretty good job doing a representation of all the cores. They sit nicely, forming a circle, with the Green Lantern ring being the key, being the center of everything, which of course maybe life would be the center of everything if they had known there was going to be a white lantern ring. So they all sit inside the little circle, and one of the cooler things about the prop, as I zoom back out again, pardon me here, finding a good spot to do this was quite difficult. My lighting is not the best, but there's a button on it, and what it does is it causes the prop to light up, and you have all the cores represented on the bottom. And it actually stays lit for a fairly decent amount of time. It's hard to see many of the symbols when it glows. It's the same way with the power battery props, which we'll be getting to soon. Obviously black shows up pretty nicely. Sapphire, you can still kind of see the logo. Rage, now it's starting to fade out a little. The more interesting thing, being a big Blue Lantern guy, which many of you people know that I am, the interesting thing, of course, is my version of this came with the one symbol that's kind of defected on the side of this thing happens to be blue for me. So that is a little disappointing. But overall, it's a very nice piece. The rings are pretty cool. The setup was pretty cool. It would have been better, clearly, if they had known ahead of time that there was going to be a white lantern ring, because they could have fit it in somehow. But still, as a display piece, it's still pretty nice. And maybe in a way, for Lantern fans, maybe it might be even more collectible, kind of, depending on a certain point of view, because of the fact that it is incomplete and incorrect without the white lantern ring. There really wasn't anything they could do about it based on this design, even if they knew when it was in production that, oh, it's going to be another ring. There is no natural spot where they could have stuck the white ring since the rings are so tightly displayed inside this thing. So they pretty much were doomed, I think, to just have this thing made. Oh, too bad. But it's a nice piece. I would, if you can find this anywhere, like on eBay, and I haven't really looked for it lately, so I don't know the availability of it or the price. But if you can get it for especially, I forget, this thing had to retail for over $100, I think, when it first came out. I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you can get this certainly for anything like $60, $70 or something, it probably would be a nice piece to add into the collection. And that's pretty much going to be it for now. I'm kind of rambling on here. This is my first attempt at this. Getting a good place to do these recordings, I got to figure that I must still figure out. Lighting is kind of hard in this house, or the lighting can be good, but the background can be bad, and that's kind of the problem too. So I'm signing off for now, and this is Mark Marble again, and I will be doing more of these based on ring props and a lot of the other rings that I have. So between Jim and I, we should have a lot of these things covered. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.